Welcome to Beyond the Beacon, a podcast of the Diocese of Paterson, New Jersey. I'm Jay Agnish, Communications Director for the Diocese. With me is Bishop Kevin Sweeney. Bishop Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, Jay. How you doing?
Doing well. So, where are we?
We're here in Hewitt, in the beautiful part of our diocese in northern Passaic County, surrounded by the beauty of nature, and here at Shiloh Bible Camp, Shiloh Bible Camp here in Hewitt, where we've had the Quo Vadis Vocation Day for the last number of years. Father Ed Rama, our vocation director, Father...
At least 14 years, because one of the people who's attending is...
The Quo Vadis, but it's been in different places. It's been here in Shiloh for the last few years. Father Rama, our vocation director, and Father Charlie Lana, our assistant vocation director, do a great job with a lot of help. We're grateful to our pastors and parish leaders and families who send their young men, high school young men, to come here for the day, enjoy the beauty of nature and zip lining, I think, and different activities, frisbee. And hiking and barbecue lunch from the KFC, who always do a great job, and we'll have mass outside a little bit later, and look forward to interviewing some of the young men attending and some of our seminarians.
Yeah. And so what's the point of the retreat? It's to help the youth,
young men who are open to God's call. As I think we'll hear from some of the young men, it's a guy in his parish or in a school, and he might be thinking, God could be calling him to be a priest. He said, am I the only one? But when they come on a day like this, they see that there's plenty of guys their age who are open to God's call, and then they meet seminarians who have taken that step either in college or after college to enter into the seminary, and it makes it, I think, a real possibility for them. So, and to be able to kind of get to know each other and having some fun in an informal way, and to hear some talks from priests and seminarians.
Yeah, and you'll be celebrating Mass here shortly. So what else is going on, Bishop? What is this about the Yankees not doing too well there?
Well, I wouldn't say that. They've had a rough streak the last couple of weeks, and I got to give credit to the Mets and the Mets fans for...
You heard that, everyone.
Beating the Yankees twice in the Subway Series, rough. But it was at the end of June, got plenty of long season, and 2 more games in the Bronx. The Mets have to come to the Bronx, so we'll see how that goes, I think, at the end of July. But 1 game at a time, and so far so good for the Yankees this year. They're just in a rough patch at the moment. So. And
your summer's going well? It's been
I'm looking forward to some R&R in the coming weeks. And now, a couple of weeks, we'll also have the Eucharistic Congress in Indianapolis, so really looking forward to that as well.
All right, well, we're going to go to the interviews, so see you then.
Great. Here we are at Quo Vadis, our annual vocation retreat day here at Camp Shiloh Bible Camp in Hewitt, on a beautiful day that God has given to us after a storm last night. And I'm very happy to welcome to the podcast Father Krzysztof Tyszko. And I'm going to ask some of our young men who are with us for the day to introduce themselves. Can you tell us your name and your parish?
I'm Rory. I go to Morristown, and I go to Assumption at Morristown.
And which school?
I go to Oratory in Summit.
In Summit, right. And what year, sorry?
I'm going to be a junior this year.
Going to be a junior.
My name is Jacob. I go to Our Lady of Fatima in St. Nicholas in Passaic. I go to Passaic Charter High. I'm about to go into my junior year, high school.
Great.
My name is Juan. I also go to Our Lady of Fatima in Passaic. I go to the Passaic Academy for Science and Engineering. And I'm also about to go into my sophomore year. Thank you.
Jacob and Juan, you were here at the Quo Vadis Day last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it like? What do you remember? What stands out?
It's different. There was a lot of talks by different pre-seminarians. Obviously, spending some time with different people who want to discern their vocation. That was probably one that stood out to me.
We have about, I think, 35 or so you guys here today, right? And what was it like for you, Juan?
For the first time, at first I didn't really understand what it really was.
What am I doing here?
I was I was just like, oh, ziplining, that's cool.
Ziplining, yes,
Yeah.
that's a big selling point. And I hear that zipline is broke this year, I think.
Oh.
But, I'm not sure. But so that was an attraction. Then you got here and you experienced the day, and what do you remember? What stood out?
Probably the outdoor mass, probably the first time I've been to an outdoor mass. And then also the confession times.
And last year we were in the smog, right? The smoke from Canada, I think, was right. We went ahead, and it was still a good day. And so, Rory, this is your first time.
Yeah, this is my first time.
Monsignor Hart, your pastor. How did he invite you to come for the day?
I would just stop by his office, and he brought it up to me. He was like, "Hey, you should go on this trip. I think you should check it out. And it's the summer, so might as well just try it."
It's not a bad spot to be, right?
Yeah, no, the weather's great.
Right,
and
a lot of activities, so chance for some fun activities. I think the Knights of Columbus are. You remember the barbecue from last year? I think the food was pretty good. So, and then activities outside, and then outside mass again, I think, and some prayer time as well, and the opportunity for confession. And Father Rama, our vocation director, along with Father Charlie Lana, the associate vocation director, I think, who might be on with us later. They do a great job organizing the day. Do you know how many times Father Krzysztof has been on Quo Vadis? How many times, Father Krzysztof?
This is number 14.
14 times since you were in
Middle school.
middle school. Wow. And you grew up in what parish again?
Holy Rosary in Passaic.
Holy Rosary in Passaic. Father Stefan Lass,
Yes.
right, Pastor? And you were ordained?
A year and 3 days ago.
A year and 3 days ago. Happy anniversary. And how did you spend your first year as a priest?
Back in school. So a little different, but it was still a really great blessing, and it was an absolute joy to be able to be a priest.
And your seminary formation was in, college level?
Yes, so 4 years of college at St. Andrew's College Seminary here in South Orange, and then,
On the campus of Seton Hall?
yes, and then 4 years at the North American College in Rome.
In Rome, right. And so when the guys study in Rome, they get their license, right, in
Yes.
addition to their master's in theology. And so they go back usually for a year
Yeah.
after to complete that license.
Yeah.
And where your course of study was?
Church history.
Church history. So you'll be helping Monsignor Kupke, right? And Father Calabro, I
Yeah.
think, also. And you just got an assignment.
I did, yeah, so I'm happy to be starting in Morristown this upcoming Monday
Which parish?
at Assumption. Yes.
Assumption. And so you're meeting
So,
with
yeah,
one of your
exactly. I'm meeting my parishioners, which is great.
Great. We're here to. Did you guys hear about the phrase? What do you know why we call it Quo Vadis?
something in Latin, probably.
Something in Latin, right? It means where are you going? And there's a story that when the persecution of the church started in Rome, I believe, there's a story of St. Peter kind of running away from the persecution that was taking place in Rome, I believe, or in the Holy Land, Jerusalem. And as he's leaving, Father Krzysztof may have a better interpretation of the story because it's a well-known story. As he was leaving to get away from the persecution, he's going outside of the city, going away from the city, and coming towards him, he sees someone, and he sees that it's Jesus. And I think Peter says to Jesus, Quo Vadis, where are you going? And Jesus says, I'm going to Rome to be crucified. Is that the basic story, right? And then Peter realized that he was called to be faithful to the name of the Lord and take that responsibility that he had as leading the early church, and eventually he would be crucified in Rome. His feast day is coming up with St. Paul on Saturday, June 29th, the feast of Saints Peter and Paul. Juan, you were on the vocation retreat we had, right?
In the Jesuit Center?
In Morristown, right?
Yes.
Were you there also, Jacob?
Yeah.
What do you remember from the vocation retreat?
Probably that there were a lot of Mary statues everywhere.
A lot of
Which is
statues
greatly-
of Mary,
yeah.
our Blessed Mother, yes. Yeah, the retreat
Greatly
house.
appreciated.
Sorry?
It was greatly appreciated.
Greatly appreciated, yes.
Probably the liturgy at the hours, waking up early, stopping in the middle of the day to pray. That's probably the
Morning prayer, evening prayer, night prayer, right? And Mass each day. Rory, have you ever been on a retreat?
No, this is my first ever
How about
retreat.
at Oratory? Do they have any retreat days? Or?
Yeah, they have retreat days. The one last year was also focused on faith. So they took us up near, I believe it was near Newark, and it was just a religious retreat. We like sat in deep thought, and we tried this like, it was just bond as a class.
To bond as a class.
It was just a bond, and
was it in the school building or someplace else?
It was someplace else. It was I believe it was in a church, but I can't recall the name.
Right.
But it was faith-focused, like bonding retreat for our grade.
Good experience?
It was a good experience,
right.
yeah.
So hopefully you'll have something similar today with beautiful scenery and opportunity for outdoor activities. Juan and Jacob, you're both from the same parish, right? Our Lady of Fatima, St. Nicholas in Passaic. Father Roland Zaribe, right, is the pastor?
Yes.
Are you involved in some of the parish activities?
Yeah, we're
altar service.
Altar service is a big group of altar service there, right? When you told your family you were going on the vocation retreat or coming back for another retreat day, how did they respond?
Have fun.
Have fun. No problems with it, right? They were happy you were going?
Yeah.
Good. And what?
For me, it was because I always tell whenever I have retreats, my mom somehow finds out before me. So she was like, "Oh, you should go," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the one we had last year." My dad was like, just surprised that it was this early in the morning.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Did you guys get a ride here this morning?
Yeah.
Great. And Father Krzysztof, what do you remember from all those years from middle school, I guess, into the seminary, coming here? Well, it wasn't always here, right?
I wasn't here.
Right.
Yeah. This is much more recent. So, yes, overall, the big thing that stuck out to me was the talks that were given and the ability to speak to priests and seminarians that, they're more normal than you would expect, that you're able to encounter them on a casual more basis, playing soccer with them, just hanging out and talking with them. And it's, this is something, especially, seminary priests, it is something that is open to everyone, that they have that these guys here have the opportunity. It's like, hey, seminary is an option, should definitely be an option, because it's, I like to think that I just do everything I was doing beforehand, now with just some added things that are just nothing but sources
and
of
a
grace.
sense that as a young person, high school even into college, that you weren't alone, right? It was you weren't the only one thinking, maybe God's calling me to be a priest. There are a lot of other guys who are open to the possibility. Juan and Jacob, you've met some seminarians last year and on the retreat. How was that experience?
For me, it was good. I got to meet other people. Like Father Krzysztof said, that people might think that aren't like normal people, but they are. They were friendly, and they helped me a lot to learn more about my faith.
Great. What?
For me, it was kind of like an eye-opening experience because, as a child, you just see them during the Mass and they look all serious and stuff. And when I go on retreats like these, they kind of show you the humanity that they have and how, relatable they can be.
You saw the video, I think, that they're watching now, Fishers of Men, right? We showed it on retreat. There's a guy who was a priest. He had been a baseball player and an actor. He's a New Yorker, and he says, regular guys, the Lord called regular guys, right? So we don't always maybe realize that, but when you come on days like this, have you had any sense of that already, Rory? Or have you met seminarians before?
Oh yeah. As like Jacob said, they're always very friendly, and they always try to, they always want to talk to you. They're trying to be your friend. It was help you along the way.
I think you've had some seminarians and young priests come to Assumption over the years, right?
Yeah, there was many. There was I forget his name. I'm just gonna call him Father John or Deacon John.
Deacon John.
I believe he was from Colombia, and he was very friendly. I talked to him a lot. He helped me altar serve, and it was all very nice.
Right. And as a seminarian, to give a talk at to a group of young guys it can help, I think, confirm your vocation that I can do this, right? Did you have some of that experience?
Yeah, especially for me, I don't enjoy public speaking. So I mean,
That's great. You got into priesthood.
no, I know exactly. Yeah, it's.
But you're getting used to it, right? You're ready to go.
It's really good to see. It's like the Lord is really giving you the strength to do it, which is what I really noticed during giving these talks. It's like sometimes you forget what you're going to say, but yeah, you still end up saying something, and then somebody comes up to you afterwards and is like, "Hey, I was really moved by that what you said." And you can really see the work of the Lord in this.
You prepare, then you give it to the Holy Spirit, then
Exactly.
you start speaking, and
Exactly.
it's the rest up to the Lord.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yes, right? And you're about to give a talk in a little bit now, right?
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the day and for sharing on the podcast, and hopefully you enjoy a great day. And we thank Father Krzysztof for being with us. And we ask you, everyone listening and watching, to pray for our young men and pray for an increase in vocations to priesthood and consecrated religious life. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless. We're back at our Quo Vadis episode of Beyond the Beacon, second annual, I guess. We're on site here at Shiloh Bible Camp in Hewitt, beautiful Hewitt, on this beautiful day. And we have a few more of our attendees, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, name and parish, and where you go to school.
So I'm Zach Riesett. I go to Our Lady of Mount Carmel, Boonton, and I go to school at Koinonia Academy in Plainfield.
Great.
I'm Stephen Howell. I go to St. Lawrence in Chester, and I just graduated from West Milford High School, and I will be attending Elon University in the fall.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How was graduation?
It was hot. It was hot. But it was nice. It's good to finally be done and ready to move on to the next part of my life.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother who's been here a few times.
Oh, good.
And I have a younger sister
Great.
who's in middle school.
You're the oldest?
Yes, I'm the oldest.
So exciting for your parents, I'm sure, that you're
yeah,
graduating
it's
high
very,
school.
very
right?
stressful,
Right.
especially for it being the first time.
Zach, do you have siblings?
I have an older sister. Yeah.
Older sister, yes. And we have
Gabriel Nelson from Sacred Heart Parish in Rockaway. I'm homeschooled.
homeschooled. And what grade? What year?
I'm a junior right now.
Junior in high school, yes. You have siblings?
6.
6,
Yeah.
wow. What number are you?
Number 2.
Number 2, great. You gotta help mom and dad with some of the younger kids, huh?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Great. That's great. And
And I'm Eric Hasenbein, a new seminarian for the Diocese. My home parish is Notre Dame Mount Carmel, and in August I'll be entering to St. Joseph Seminary in Dunwoody, New York.
in the Propedeutic year.
The Propedeutic year, yes, the new formation year, discernment year for the church.
The church is always trying to review what we do, and the formation of men who are considering a call to the priesthood, especially when they formally enter a formation or seminary program, is reviewed from time to time by the bishops of the country, along with the offices in Rome that have those responsibilities. And recently it's been discerned that men entering the seminary should have a year, almost like you could call it a full retreat year or preparation year.
Away from the world.
Propedeutic is a fancy, I think, Latin word for a year to get ready, right?
Yeah. A year to step away, to really enter, to know where the Lord lives, spend that time with Him a lot in the sacrament, spend a lot of time in community, and figure out, is this a serious call? Is this a real environment that I feel comfortable in? So I'm very much looking forward.
And a little less time with your phone and technology.
They take
right?
it away, yes. Don't be
Once
scared.
a week, 1 day a week.
They take a whole week away. They get it back 1 day a week.
And the reactions we've had, the Propedeutic year really program started last year. We didn't have a Patterson Seminarian. From what I've heard, guys doing the Propedeutic year said, wow, it was great.
Oh, they loved it. I was speaking to one of them this week, actually, and they said, you don't even want your phone. You're going to get your phone back on Saturdays, read these emails and finances, and it's like, you don't even want to get back to the seminary. So I'm just looking forward to it, yeah.
Jesus says we have to be in the world, but not of the world,
Exactly.
and that balance can be a challenge sometimes.
Exactly.
So Zach and Gabriel, you were here last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Stephen, you've been here a few times before. How many times?
This will be my 4th Quo Vadis.
And what stands out from previous years and coming on the Quo Vadis Day?
I think the thing that stands out the most is the nature hike. I remember last year was the first time we did it. The first 2 years you didn't have it. I don't know what for, but I remember that the view was very nice. I think it was nice to have the rosary up there. You kind of get to see like the whole view of Passaic County. I'd never seen something like that before. It's a tough hike, but it's very nice to go up there.
So that stood out from last year. You guys were here last year. What stood out for you? Where you came in not knowing what to expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what did you find out?
Everyone who runs it is super nice. I had a very good experience with the Holy Hour last year. Yeah, it's all very well run.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time, a lot of fun. Great to be able to do sports, play games with, meet new people. And I think what really stuck out for me both last year and then this year was the Fishers of Men, the grassroots film. I found that very,
one of my favorites. Yes,
very
yes,
powerful.
yes.
It was really good.
You just got to see it again this morning,
Yep.
right? Yeah. What about that video strikes you the most?
I really like the scene where during the crash where the priest is running down and going to help them. I found that very powerful.
The sacrament of the anointing of the sick and the moment when, as they say, preparing the soul to go home to God, right?
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah. Are you guys involved in your parishes? So, well, I think we have 4 parishes represented, right? Zach, your parish?
Yeah, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So I served there for like a year, and I help out with the youth group and
as an altar server, right?
Ed. Yep.
Father Daniel O'Mullane, right, is the pastor? Yes. And Stephen, are you involved in your parish?
Yeah, so before COVID, I used to be an altar server. So, and then now I'm doing vacation Bible school in the summers. And from time to time, I think I've done the ministering of the Eucharist like once or twice. And I've done the reading of the first 2 readings a few times
great.
as well.
And Father Nick Boz is the parish and is the pastor, and Father Angel, right, is the
Father
Angel,
yes.
right. What's it been like seeing a new priest come to the parish? I think Father Angel is there 2 years now, right?
Yeah, it's been a few years. So Father Nick, the whole time I've been there, he's been the pastor, but in terms of having another priest with him, it's been a few different ones. So it's nice. I don't know how long he'll stay, but I really like him. I think he does a good job at what he does. Sometimes it's kind of hard because he has a very strong accent. It's kind of hard to understand it, but I think you get used to it eventually.
He's working at it, right?
Yeah, he's working on it. He's not the first priest that we've had in our.
Who's come to us from another country,
yeah,
right?
It's come from another country.
And there's a Spanish-speaking community in the parish, right? Father Angel would.
Yeah, we have a very strong Spanish-speaking community. We have its own built-in mass on Sundays at 12:30, and they have a lot of songs that are done with the guitar that we don't have at the other.
Enthusiasm, right?
Very enthusiastic.
Right.
So I've been to it a few times, and it's very different from the traditional English-speaking mass that we have.
Right. And Gabriel, what's your parish again? Sacred Heart in Rockaway. Father Pavel Bala, right? Mm-hmm. Are you involved? Do you help out?
Yeah, I altar serve, and my mom runs CCD, so I teach the younger class. My little brother. It's a smaller CCD right now, so just my little brother and another kid. I teach the preschool class for faith formation.
Are you guys familiar with Carlo Acutis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll be hearing more about him. He's going to be, I think, soon named a saint.
Right.
A great story. But he was so close to the Lord from very young, and his parents weren't practicing. I know your parents are practicing very faithfully. I've gotten to meet your mom and your dad, but you made me think of Carlos because his mom became a catechist to allow Carlo to be her assistant catechist, right? So it's nice when families are helping out in the parish together. And Eric, your parish?
Notre Dame of Mount Carmel up in Cedar Knolls.
Going through a
lot of transition
at the moment.
Yeah, it's always tough, but the parish is going through well. We're very excited for the coming of Father Vidal. We're very sad, obviously, for the leaving of Father Patty and Father Alex, but it's the nature of things, and we're excited to bring on.
Try to serve the whole diocese.
Exactly, and we're taking it well, but
Father Patty is coming to a well-deserved retirement. I think 52 years as a priest.
52 years, celebrations tonight.
But he's going to stay active in many ways. And
he will be. He very active in many ways. Yes.
Right. And Father Alex will be heading to the city of Patterson, St. Bonaventure's.
Yep, it's going to practice Spanish.
Right. Being on a Quo Vadis or a vocation event, you get the opportunity to meet some guys like Eric who are entering the seminary or who have been in the seminary for a few years. What's that like, getting to know some of the guys who are taking that next step to enter formation and be in a seminary program?
I'll go. It's really cool, and also like really helpful because you kind of get to see their journey and how God spoke to them and how they kind of answered that call. So it's really cool and also like kind of reassuring, and they can kind of help you with any questions that you're having or feelings about the vocation.
And you see that they're ordinary, regular guys, right?
Yep.
Right. Stephen, what's it been like?
Similar to that, it kind of feels like since they're your age, they're around your age, they're only a few years older. I think one of them is in the same graduating class as me. So it kind of helps you see what your life would be like in their steps because they're your age and they're relatable to you. And when you understand them on a personal level, you can kind of see how life is like in the seminary. So I think that's very helpful to kind of see, to kind of get a good feeling of it instead of it being just an unknown mystery.
You're thinking that you're going to college. Do you know if Elon has a campus ministry program or if there's a Catholic?
I believe so. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
You'll be looking to find where you can go to Mass and how you can get involved and keep practicing your faith.
Of course.
Eric, that you've had that experience, right?
Yes, I was very involved. I went to Virginia Tech. I studied engineering. I just graduated in May. And campus ministry was one of the best decisions I ever made. Highly, highly recommend. I'll talk about it probably later today. But you nourish the faith. You really meet a lot of people who are serious about it. It's just a great place, great environment. It's where you want to be.
So you would encourage Stephen, right?
I would encourage any young male, any young female, anyone who's entering, thinking about going to college, any guy here. Wonderful experience. Most of them are very well run with their chaplains and all that. I highly recommend anyone. Yeah.
Great. Gabriel, getting to know guys in the seminary, you've been able to do that a little bit?
Yeah, here it's easy to, I think here better than anywhere else, I'm able to feel the call to the priesthood better because you're surrounded by all these awesome guys who, like they said, you can relate to and are kind of closer to your age. So they're all very nice and it makes me want to be a priest even more.
Great. And you have some fun today as well, right? You'll have some fun. You mentioned the nature hike, right? Up to the high point and see the beautiful valley here surrounded. Any other outdoor activities that you enjoyed or you're looking forward to?
The ultimate frisbee game at the end of camp.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a nice one. That's always fun.
The zip line's awesome. I did that like 3 times last year. It was awesome.
It was fun. Great.
Yeah, definitely the ultimate frisbee.
And Eric, this is your first time, right?
This is actually my first Quo Vadis. So it's different perspective. I'm coming in as a seminarian. I was very involved in campus ministry in college, so that's where I discerned. So now it's interesting, okay, what advice can I give to these young high schoolers, many of them going to college, like Stephen, and saying, here's my recommendation, here's what I went through. It's still kind of fresh in my memory. I'm only 22. And just say, open your hearts. Let the Lord enter in your hearts and maybe give him your life. The journey is long ahead and they're just starting it. And this is a beautiful time in their lives to figure out what they want in life. And it's just a beautiful journey. And it's great to see all the high schoolers and seminarians here so they can witness that life. And I want to let them see what it's like. And I'm an ordinary guy, and just like them, I'm from their towns, went to their high schools and all that. So it's wonderful.
Thanks. With the previous guys, we were remembering the outdoor mass from last year, and we had the smoke from Canada. Do you remember last year? We had the smoke that was coming down from Canada. But we're about to head out to mass to kind of get the day started or continue the day and look forward to the rest of the day. And do you remember the KFC barbecue lunch? That's usually a highlight, right? Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you being on and being here today and your openness to God's call. We're going to ask everyone to pray for you, and we'll pray for especially an increase in vocations to priesthood and consecrated religious life. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. God bless you guys.